The worst dressed player in the squad?
It's Kieran Trippier, definitely. He's got all the gear, no idea, so it's designed, but it's not very nice.
Hey everyone, James Tusinik here with FuboTV, joined today by Newcastle forward and England international, Callum Wilson. Callum, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for joining today. Obviously, growing up with Coventry City, the youth academy, and then making your debut as a professional, being very close to your hometown, what was it like making your professional debut for your hometown team?
It was a real special moment. I'd come from the academy and grew up in the city, had a season ticket there when I was a child, so to actually make my debut there at the Rico Arena was a proud moment, one that, ended the hard work that I'd put in at that point, and then it was about, not just getting to there, trying to have a career within the game, really.
And that's great. And I guess, as you were growing up, coming through the academy, and even starting your professional career, was there a particular, footballer that you looked up to and you kind of idolized?
I used to watch Thierry Henry play a lot for Arsenal back in the day. I would watch clips on YouTube of him, Ronaldinho, and then try and go onto the pitch and just do some of the things that I'd watched previously. And some of it worked, some of it didn't, but you find your own niche and your own style of play, and then that's what you can try and, adapt and become better at throughout your career.
Being a young player in today's game, would you have any advice to a young player kind of coming up through the academies today that would kind of help them with success in their career?
First and foremost, you have to have that self-belief. Throughout your academy days, there's a lot of players that you might look at as better than yourself. You might look at that you're better than them, but after everything, I guess, that happens throughout your journey in the youth team, it comes down to the hard work that you put in. First one on the training field, last one off. It's a cliche, but it's actually true. Being in the gym all the time, doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you can handle the men's game, because that's what it is. And you don't want to be coming up into the first team and looking like you're not meant to be there. You want to look like you're a part of it. So self-belief and hard work is definitely probably two things I would say.
As you were coming up, did you have one particular experience that you maybe had that really stuck with you and kind of helped shape you as a player that you are today?
One of my youth team managers always said to me to hang around with people that are like-minded, the same as you, that want to be successful like you, because I had a tendency to hang around with people that didn't really strive at that time to do or become anything, and they were probably leading you down the wrong paths that you didn't want to go down. So that was a valuable piece of information that I took on board, and a lot of my friends today are probably football players or ex-football players who have played and not made it or fell away from the game, but have always wanted to be the best version of themselves, really.
Obviously, all those experiences have led you to where you are today. Playing with Newcastle now, so far, what's been your proudest moment or most exciting moment that you've had so far in a Newcastle shirt?
Scoring my first goal in the Gallagher end was definitely a proud moment. Unfortunately, it wasn't with the fans initially, because we had a season with COVID and there wasn't allowed in the stadium. But then once we had a full packed house, I remember scoring first game of the season, and that feeling, is unmatched really. And I guess beyond that, you have next kind of things that you have ticked off, like playing the Champions League, playing the Cup final. But I guess the first is always the best, really.
Turning it over to England, right? So obviously you played in the 2022 World Cup as well, making your debut in the World Cup, giving an assist to Jack Grealish there in a 6-2 win versus Iran. Would you say that was your proudest moment in an England shirt, or was there something else or another moment that you had in an England shirt that kind of topped that for you?
I think scoring on my England debut was probably my proudest moment in the England shirt. You work so hard to get a call up, and then when you do make your debut, walking out at Wembley and then scoring on it, I think there was no better feeling really. And playing at the World Cup come close to that, but I think definitely scoring on debut was my proudest moment in England top.
And I guess, for these big games, obviously I know some players have some crazy pregame rituals. Do you have any pregame rituals that, you can't play without?
Depends how I feel on the day. Sometimes I'll have a laugh and a joke. Sometimes I'll have my headphones in. I guess, I have a coffee, if that's something. It's a ritual before a game. But that's just to wake me up a little bit before I go out there and try and score some goals.
Perfect. So now we're going to switch over to get to know your Newcastle teammates a little bit better. It's going to be kind of a quick fire round. I'm going to give you kind of a way to describe your teammates, and you're going to let me know which player that kind of reminds you of the most, right? So for example, we'll be starting off with the worst dressed player in the squad.
It's Kieran Trippier, definitely. He's got all the gear, no idea, so it's designered, but it's not very nice.
And then on the flip side of that, who would you say is the best dressed in the squad?
Probably Joe Willock, I would say. He has nice dress sense. He's really big into fashion, yeah.
And then the funniest player in the squad?
Besides myself, no, joking. I think, who do I find funny in the squad? Alex is quite funny. Alex Isak is quite funny.
When you guys are in the locker room, the boys are all buzzing. Who would you say has the worst taste in music when they get on the speakers?
It's quite a young group, so everyone's into similar things. I guess the foreign players put on Spanish music and stuff, which some of it's actually really good. Some of it's debatable. So I guess, yeah, probably Sean Longstaff and the Geordie boys. They only listen to Sam Fender. So if they try and put anything else on, it's not great.
Who would you say is the fastest player in the squad, other than yourself, obviously?
I would say probably Anthony Gordon is really quick. He's quite sharp, yeah, I'd say him.
When you guys are in training, who would you say is the hardest player for yourself to beat in training? When you're going 1v1 with that player, who's the toughest to get past?
I'd say Tino Livramento's really good at 1v1 defending. I would probably say him, yeah, to be honest.
All right, Cal, I'm ending off with a fun one for you. Who would be your dream five-a-side Premier League team with you as the forward? Which 4 players from the Premier League are you surrounding yourself with?
So I'd probably have Edison in goal, because then he's like a player, so it's an advantage. I would have Kevin De Bruyne, I would say. Great player. Rodri, because he could just be our defender, but a midfielder as well. And then, no more Man City players, by the way. Should we say Kieran Trippier? We'll put him in there, Shabana.
Awesome, there you go. That sounds like quite the side. Would definitely be tough to beat. Well, Callum, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for taking some time for us to have a quick chat. Wishing you the best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.